Okay, so today I'll be talking about obesity, and this is my lovely audience, all of my audience. Okay, so we're going to start out, I'm going to tell you a fact. So approximately 25% of men and 30% of women have been diagnosed with obesity in the United States, and that is not part of the 20 to 23% of children that are also included in that. We see obesity more and more every day, and we're actually affected by it as well. By raising awareness as well as healthy lifestyle, then we can lower that rate of death rates that are happening due to obesity. We can do things in our lives that can prevent obesity overall in our personal lives as well as others that live with us. We have been all been exposed to obesity, either it be through media, public, as well as ourselves and our family members. We can see obesity, how it's changed during time through graphs as well as other statistics. So common health issues that we think about are like diabetes, high blood pressure. Is obesity actually becoming one of those common issues since it's not rare anymore in our lives? So during the last 25 years, you might think that obesity isn't such a big deal, but it's actually changed a lot. So I went to cdc.gov, which actually had a slideshow on US obesity trends, and you might find it really interesting to see. Alright, so we're going to start in 1985, and this is the percentage of people that have obesity in each state. So the white means that there's no data for them. The lighter colors are better than the darker colors. So as we go through years, you can notice that states are getting darker and darker as we go. The more darker, the more percentages show up down here. Like that cream color just came up, which is 20% of people in those certain states that have obesity. Now we have an orange color and a red color, and we're only in 2010, which is a year ago, and we have this red polka dotted color that shows over 30% of people in those states are actually obese. So that's pretty surprising, and this shows every 10 years, 1990, 2000 to 2010. You can actually see the differences between these. There's still white showing there, there's darker colors, and then it ends up being red. So that includes people, adults, as well as children, and it's just really surprising. So I have an article from Statistics and Rate of Obesity written by Neil Hutchins, and he says, the number of overweight and obese Americans have increased continuously since 1960. This was just shown in August, so it's pretty recent, and it just has another supporting fact to it that over time, obesity is growing constantly. So media is another way that we see obesity, either it be through magazines or TV shows. If you compare the magazines that we see from even the 90s to today, you can see the differences between either the pictures or even what's being said throughout them. Media, such as The Biggest Loser, is one of the most popular shows that obesity is shown through. And I found an article that's called Our Weight Loss Shows Even Helping, and this was written by Sandy Conan, and she actually mentions how obesity rates in the U.S. are the highest in industrialized nations. So that's pretty surprising to know that the U.S. isn't doing so great with obesity. So J.D. Roth is actually the executive producer of Extreme Makeover of Weight Loss, and so he says that the first step to changing some systemic problem in society is awareness, and I think weight awareness is at its all-time high. So that's from the executive producer of this weight loss show, so that's pretty surprising. So our shows show us that evidence of obesity. What can we do personally to distract from having obesity in our lives? One thing is food. Like, that's where it comes from the most. That's where it's produced from, as well as lack of physical activity. So just go to your food pyramid, which is actually tells you how many servings of things you should have each day and nutritional facts. And you need to be physical in what you do. Like, some examples of that would be parking farther away from the store you're going to enter. That just makes you take a couple more steps, or even bike riding if you have a family. Just simple steps like that can sum up physical activities for your day, like add and buy little steps at a time. So Damon Huner, he actually was talking about schools and obesity, and Gooding Elementary School was actually awarded the USDA award for being the national healthiest school. And so that was pretty surprising, since we're from Gooding and we know about that stuff. That was found on magicvalley.com, and you can actually go and look it up if you want. So it goes through that, discussing that parents are actually involved in what their children do during the school. So it's not just children, it's not just parents, it's together, and if you work together to have a healthy lifestyle, you will. PE is actually becoming a requirement in some schools as well. So high blood pressure, stroke, and diabetes are some things that can come from being obese. And it's not just physical or diseases that you can get. It also includes psychological consequences like self-esteem issues, discrimination, as well as loneliness. So it's a bad deal to have obesity. So I have a quote from Risa Laviso. She wrote F is for Fat in 2009. She says, "Reversing the childhood obesity epidemic is a critical ingredient for delivering a healthier population and making health reform work." So what I liked about that is having a population that is healthy. We want people to grow in a healthy environment. We don't want this obesity numbers to go higher and deaths to occur due to obesity. So having a healthier population is good. So now that we see how obesity affects us, like, what are we going to do to take action and actually not fall into obesity? Like Nike says, just do it. So be physically active, have a healthy diet, reevaluate your life. If you don't like something that's going on, then fix it. Like, go out and be active, have a healthier diet. You are in control, so take a stand for what you desire, what lifestyle you want to fit in. So there's a challenge that I'd like to give. So throughout this week, change something, either a physical activity or change something that you eat and don't eat it. And you won't see a big, huge change in your weight, but you'll feel healthier. Like, you'll actually feel emotionally healthier, if that makes sense. You'll feel emotionally happy as well as healthy. So in conclusion, obesity is a growing epidemic, and we can alter our lives to have that healthy lifestyle and stay away and prevent obesity. So looking back in times, you can see the changes that have been made, as well as changing our lifestyle from physical activity to diet, and we can better our lives. So we have to take action and do what makes us happy as well as healthy. It's up to you, and what will you do to prevent obesity? Any questions?
So on that first map, where it still had some white in there, the white was still
no data.
No data. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what's the difference between like the blue and the orange that it ended up?
The blue was actually, the light blue was 10%, and the darker it got, the more percent. Okay. So like the red was about 30%. So it was that difference of growing throughout the states. So yeah. Any more questions? All right. Well, thanks for coming, guys. Thank you.
Oh,